Hey everybody, random thoughts and why those might be dangerous tonight on the Landlord Coach Daily show. Let's get going.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Hey everybody, it is Mark Dolfini, the Landlord Coach Daily show. A little later than the day that I normally do it. It's taking care of my bride at home. She was feeling a little bit under the weather today. So I was soaking her down in orange juice and pineapple slices and being criticized for how big I cut the pineapple chunks. I can do nothing right. So she's allowed to be grouchy. She's not feeling too well, but she's on the mend. And anyway, so tonight, just some random thoughts I have that I was just been circling around through my head. Last week was a really exciting week. For those who attended the OREA conference, it's kind of like the Super Bowl of real estate conferences for those people who are in real estate, at least in real estate investing. There's lots of different speakers that showed up. I actually got to speak at it for the first time this year, and was really excited to do that. And I got to talk a little bit about the VIP method and just some different tactical things that people can put in place. Although, for those of you who know that I'm not a strict tactician, I'm more of a strategic kind of thinker, but had some was able to talk to them for an hour. And of course I was battling through a little bit of a cold that night, and so but I was able to carry through. So got all your prayers helped. So I do appreciate that. But it was interesting. I put this kind of thing of random thoughts because it got me thinking of the travels that I've been through, as landlord coach, as a published author, as a national speaker, and all this progression that's gone on through the last, 4 or 5 years. And it reminded me, I was kind of sitting here thinking like, man, this is actually a pretty cool thing, because I get to speak to a group that I've been attending as an attendee for several years. I've helped out. I've been part of this other deal makers forum thing that this other guy, this guy Bob Dressman puts on, real smart dude, and some other people that are part of that. And it's funny how I was thinking back to this one particular book that was written by this guy named Russell Brunson. Now, if you don't know who Russell Brunson is, he basically he helped form how internet marketing is done today. It's kind of hard to see an online advertisement that doesn't have some sort of influence by Russell Brunson. And I read, I think he's written 3 books. I've read 2 of them. And one of the things that was really, really interesting was, as I was reading his book, in the very first part of his very first book, he talked about these voices in your head, these voices of unworthiness, and that the more success that you seem to get, the louder those voices seem to be. And man, could I resonate with that. By many people's measures of success, they would consider me to be successful. And it wasn't until even recently I wouldn't feel that I was successful. But once I started defining success by my terms and not by other people's stupid nebulous definition of what success is, I really do feel like I'm a success. I'm a success. I'm becoming a success in my faith, certainly in my marriage, certainly as a father, certainly as a friend to others, certainly in business. I've been in business now for 20 years. But it's interesting that even though all those metrics that you could stack up, you can still find ways to question your worthiness. And I really thought that, as things were culminating that Friday evening, and I was feeling really, really not great. My throat was really, really sore. But I was thinking, this is really like, what do I have to say that these people are going to want to hear on a Friday night? And the room was reasonably full, had 30 or so people in the room, I think, which I thought was pretty interesting. And it was the next day, and I was helping. I was just logged into a room, to offer some different perspective on a, for different people, different investors who are looking for different advice. And I didn't really have anything except different perspective to offer. And it was interesting because one guy challenged me, saying that I didn't own a particular asset class. And I was like, and I actually do. He was saying, well, how much commercial do you own? And I said, well, I don't own any commercial. And I was thinking commercial in terms of, do I invest in strip malls and things like that? Well, my office building is obviously a commercial piece of property, but I didn't really consider it that at the moment, as I'm being attacked, and also I'm kind of dazed with cold medicine. But it was interesting because rather than, and I wasn't there to really try to fight back. I was just like, look, I'm just here to offer a perspective. And he didn't have much to say after that. But it was interesting because I actually did own commercial properties, and my point that to those individuals that I was giving perspective was that they were looking to head in a completely different direction. Even though it might have looked similar on the outside, they were looking to head into a different asset class for the sake of diversification. And as I'm thinking of this through the lens of all these different speakers at this event, and all of them offer different perspectives in terms of investing in multifamily and real estate notes and vacant land and on and on and on, right? And rental properties, all, and single family dwellings, multifamily, like all different stuff. And I was sitting thinking about this, and I couldn't help but think of this lie that we tell ourselves that we need to diversify for whatever reason. And I don't know what we feel we need to diversify from, but it's almost as if we're scared to put all of our eggs into one basket, thinking that it's going to be easier for us to carry 7 different baskets with 1 egg in each than it is to carry 1 basket with 7 eggs. And it's not. I mean, at best, you might be able to carry 2 eggs or 2 baskets, but we were so worried about losing what we have that we needed to diversify our attention and our resources and our assets for what I'm not 100% sure. And of course, I think of, everybody talks about, Richard Branson, who owns like a zillion different businesses, and he's super successful in each. But I would also say that his focus is really good at one thing, and that's developing and building businesses. And that's his focus. And he does not worry about the running of the operational day-to-day thing. And that's where I go back to thinking, again, I'm sorry if this is a bit random, but to bring this all back into one clear focus, I think about the book, The One Thing. And when I read that book the first time, I wasn't really ready to receive the book. I was kind of like, okay, it's would have been a great article, but it actually was pretty well written when I read it and was really ready to receive the message. Because it's really not about being great at 17 different things. It's about being great at one thing and having the hyper focus that'll allow you to be good at one thing and not be distracted by all this other stuff that's gonna come to show up. And in real estate, that's very, very, very hard to do because opportunities come from all different directions. And just because the opportunity comes doesn't mean that you need to chase it down. In the very beginning of the book, it starts with a Russian adage that says, if you chase 2 rabbits, you'll end up catching none. And I think there's something to be said for that. So that's my random thought for the last 9 minutes and 40 seconds. I hope you found some validation in it. I would highly recommend that you read the book, The One Thing. I don't know. Don't be afraid to put all your eggs in one basket. The world's covered in eggs. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Please make sure that you place a value in your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. Most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time.